Hello everyone, it's Nimi. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be drawing my forecast for the week of October 26, 2025. Scorpio season has officially begun, and for myself, I have Mars in Scorpio in its home 8th house. So I am very excited to see what this Scorpio season brings for me. But for everyone else, let's see what the first week of Scorpio season has in store for everyone. And today I will finally be using my Crystal Struck deck along with my new Moon Dust deck. These two are a little more similar in size and are a little more nuanced than my first cat deck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what this week has in store for us. And as with previous videos, I have a new set of nails done. I originally meant to do these for in between Libra and Scorpio season. However, I didn't really want all black nails, so I will put some inspo pics that I had somewhere on the screen, which should appear soon. The Laoban at the nail place that I've been going to said that, oh, some of the black designs might look a little unclean or dirty when you look at it from afar, and my camera's trying to focus. That's really funny. So she asked if I had another design in mind that I wanted to try. So we ended up drawing inspiration from both. And now that it's zoomed in and focused, this is the final result. It's very Espa, and for the silver designs, they used a transparent gel sort of thing, and then on top of it they kind of rubbed on a chrome powder, and that's how we achieved this mirror-like effect. And I have my signature Starburst stickers, and this time I finally got to try them out in silver, and I am really happy with this result. These two decks are they look like mirrors of each other, almost like yin and yang. So I think with Scorpio being associated largely with death and rebirth as well, I think my nails go pretty well with this season, because in Chinese culture, white is also another color of death. So yes, that's anyway my digression and my obsession over my nails. So let's go ahead and start with our Crystal Struck, followed by Moon Dust. I will also note that this is my first time pairing these two decks together, and I haven't actually touched my Crystal Struck deck for quite some time, so yeah, it is back in action. After shuffling this now, you can see since I've had this for over a year now, it's a little more broken in, I guess. And the texture of this is a little more smooth and almost paper-like, but not really paper-like, just like a normal card, because my Moon Dust deck is a little bit plasticky, kind of laminated. So between these two, since they are of similar size, Crystal Struck shuffles just a little bit better, but also because I think it's largely due to the fact that I really have broken in this deck, and I am obviously more familiar with it because I've only had Moon Dust for just over a month now. I may adjust the lighting throughout this video because it's been quite some time since I've used this deck, and the normal light angling that I use may not work this time, because there's usually the cat deck behind Crystal Struck whenever I paired those two together. So I had to position the lighting in a way because the cat deck would be blocking out some of the light. So since this is nearer the light this time, the angling needs to be slightly different. But again, I think you can still see the rainbow from the silver holographic detailing parts. And now, let's draw a summary card from Crystal Struck. They have in store for us. And we have the Four of Wands in reverse. And at the bottom, we have the High Priestess. Yay! I don't get this card often from this deck, so it's a pleasant surprise to see her come out. I like the look of this so far. This is a little easier to lay out because the cards I've measured are almost exactly the same size. It's literally just a millimeter or two in difference. And we have Judgment in reverse from both decks. So it seems there's some synastry. Complementing Pentacle cards as well. Ooh, this looks pretty good so far because Moondust has really vibrant illustrations, and I really like the color palette from Moondust. Wow, okay, so we've got 2 double major arcana combinations already. I am also yapping more in this video because unlike the previous one, I am not playing camera roulette, battery roulette this time because I did charge my battery. This is a new combination, so of course I'm going to be yapping, right? And let's draw the summary card. And we have the Two of Wands in reverse. So far I'm seeing a lot of complementing cards, so I think that's a sign of good synastry between these 2 decks. Ooh! And we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of Moondust. To start the week, we have Judgment in reverse and the Fool in reverse, and Judgment, as the name suggests, is a very literal card, and the fact that it has appeared in the next day as well, I think there is a major decision to be made. In my own project that I'm working on the side as well, there are actually major decisions to be made. So the Fool being paired with this as well, I think is a sign that you are no longer clouded by any rose-colored glasses that are obscuring your vision, and you are able to make these decisions with a clear mind. And this is going to be a powerful new beginning for you, whether it's in your own project as well, or in your work, or any part of your life. Next we have the Five of Pentacles, and we also have Judgment again. The fact that this has been drawn for both days shows that this is not a light decision to be made, and I think here, since the Five of Pentacles has come out, there is an element of risk involved. So you need to weigh what are the pros and cons, what are any other factors affecting this decision, because I think this being a 5 means that this decision will impact you in the medium to long-term run. So I sense something really major to be decided at the beginning of the week. So whoever this applies to, if you can relate to this, I wish you the very best of luck in your decision. I hope that you make the decisions with clarity and that you will be successful in your ventures. Moving on, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. So the 3 here in reverse reminds you not to fixate so much on the small details. I think there's a running theme throughout this week tying back to this major decision. But the Ace here ties very well with the Fool, because both Aces and the Fool cards symbolize powerful new beginnings. And with this being a Pentacle Ace as well, somebody could be giving you some financial aid, or if you are working in a project that requires some financial backing, you might get a potential investor or just any financial help for the long run. Yay! For the middle of the week, we have the Page of Cups in reverse and the Ten of Wands. The Page of Cups here, to me, pages are kind of slightly more immature out of all the court cards. So being paired with the Ten of Wands here could mean that you are finally seeing things in a more mature light, and however you are maturing relating to your project, your work, or in your personal life, this 10 is a completion cycle, which means it is time for the beginning of a new chapter, and that ties in very well with our next two cards, which are Death in reverse and Temperance in reverse. These are back to back in order in the major arcana, with Death symbolizing the ending of chapters and rebirth, and Temperance to do with balance. Really interesting here. It seems like whatever this change is, whatever this ending in chapter is, this change might be something that you or whoever this applies to is resisting, and it might throw your personal life, your routine out of balance. But just remember, change is necessary in order to grow, and change can be scary, I know, but if you take it as a natural part of life, sometimes that doesn't make it so scary after all. And sometimes once you embrace the change, you'll be able to find something positive out of it. There's always positive and negative aspects to everything, so if you're optimistic, you might be able to regain the balance, as we have the Temperance card here. Next, we have two court cards. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse and the King of Cups. And these are higher up in hierarchy in the court cards. The Queen of Swords here suggests that maybe yourself or others, there might be a lack of communication, but also as a leader, the Queen of Swords in reverse is a little bit set in her ways, and this is actually balanced here by the King of Cups, who is emotionally stable, mentally sound, and he is nurturing. So there's a bit of a interesting balance going on here. Perhaps this is the dynamic between two leaders that you may have in your life, or it could be an internal struggle within yourself. To end off the week, we have the Six of Swords in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse, and perhaps any decisions that you make may have potential short to medium term consequences. In the cat version, it has made obvious scratches in the carpet, so it has to face the music. However, with this reversed king, he is also stubborn like his queen counterpart, so there might be short-term consequences that you must face, and you must communicate. Reverse swords to me shows a lack of communication, so for some of you, you just need to own up and get it over with. I am very prideful as well myself, so sometimes I don't like owning up to things, but sometimes it is still the right thing to do. We have a very interesting set of summary cards. We have the Four of Wands in reverse and the Two of Wands in reverse. Fours are typically caution or sometimes rest cards as well. For the Four of Wands in particular, I call it the Rose Garden card, but as it's in reverse, you should be paying attention to any thorns that might be sticking out in your rose garden. You don't want to be metaphorically lying in a bush and get poked by thorns. And we have a reversed 2 here. 2s typically symbolize decisions to be made. Again, this ties back to other cards in the week. So you might be going back and forth over that major decision, or maybe overthinking, what if I chose this, what if I chose that. At the end of the day, you have to go with a decision. Since the 2 here is reversed, either go for it or don't. And I think that is telling you and reminding you this decision is not to be made lightly. So choose wisely and choose. Sometimes in life, there is no what if this, what if that. You just have to make a decision and move forward with it. It might not be the right decision right now, but I guess even if it's not the one right now, you still have the power. If there's a will, there is a way, so you can turn it into the right decision at some point. At the bottom of Crystal Struck, we have the High Priestess, and she is somewhat a little bit mysterious, but also a really good sign for any entrepreneurs and anyone doing their own thing and not following the crowd. So it's always a good sign whenever she shows up. However, The Queen of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of moon dust suggests a lack of foresight into the long-term things of this project or whatever you're working on, and sometimes frustration and lack of patience. So it is important to remember that this decision is likely going to impact you in the long run. So weigh in every factor. It doesn't matter how small the factor is. Sometimes the smallest factors can have the biggest impact. You never know. And that concludes my reading for the week of October 26th. What a transformative way to start Scorpio season this year. I see a lot of room for growth for many of you and for myself. And I hope that all your decisions are made soundly, and I hope you have the very best success in whatever endeavors you have, like I mentioned before. If you want something a little more personalized, as this is for a general audience, all my listings are my Ko-Fi, which I have below as usual. If you have watched until this point, thank you so much for watching. Let's hope for a continued season of growth this Scorpio season, and I will see you in the next forecast video, which by then it will be November. So thanks once again, and see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, and bye.